Okay, friends, you can't say that I don't try to be unique on occasion. Pardon me. My voice was so rough on the porch July 3rd that I just listened back to that video and I deleted it from YouTube. And I deleted last night's show. I was unhappy with it in numerous ways. So, not in the song selection or the stories or the general vibe, but I'm here to do better visually. I got a new camera hooked up again, and audio-wise, I've changed some things. And so I'm hoping that even if you don't catch this right away, and pardon me, I got to look at something here for a moment. Typical, 1,000-yard stare that they talk about soldiers having. So I'm going to kind of do just a repeat performance of last night, and I'm going to do Tennessee Stud for Scott. Like I said, I wasn't that happy with it. I'm still working on things, and I'm going to keep refining it. I'm serious about this YouTube channel. I almost have enough viewers now to monetize my channel, so I need more subscriptions. I need only 150 more. So if you or anybody else might be interested in subscribing to the content that I provide on my crazy Here and Gone show and on my YouTube channel, which is called Folk Rock for You, the number 4 and the letter U. I'm looking at a bird outside the window. I kind of miss them. They were adding some audio content. Again, we were talking about story songs. That's what the topic was last night. Here's one of the greatest on my Martin. Let me know you're there if you're in the chat room. And if you're not, you might be watching this later. Give it a thumbs up and or subscribe, and that would mean a lot to me. Back about 1825, I left Tennessee very much alive. Never would have made it through the Arkansas mud. Yeah, moving pages around. I never would have made it through the Arkansas mud if I hadn't been riding a Tennessee Stud. Yeah, had some trouble with my sweetheart's pa. One of her brothers was a bad outlaw. I wrote a letter to my Uncle Fudd, and I rode away on the Tennessee Stud. Tennessee Stud was long and lean, color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood. Never was a horse like the Tennessee Stud. Drifted on down into no man's land, crossed the river to the Rio Grande. Raced my horse with the Spaniard's bow. That got me a skin full of silver and gold. Me and the gambler, we couldn't agree. We got in a fight over Tennessee. We pulled our guns, he fell with a thud, and I got away on a Tennessee Stud. Chorus, Tennessee Stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, his eyes were green. He had the nerve, he had the blood, and there never was a horse like the Tennessee Stud. I rode right back across Arkansas. I whipped her brother and I whipped her pa. I found that girl with the golden hair, and she was riding on the Tennessee mare. Pretty little baby on the cabin floor, little horse colt playing round the door. I love the girl with the golden hair, and the Tennessee stud loves the Tennessee mare. Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, there never was a horse like the Tennessee stud. Well, you know, clams and all, here and gone. One of the great story songs written by Jimmy Driftwood. And he has that unusual chord in it every time, doesn't he, friends? It's a B flat, and it's always unexpected. And long and lean color of the sun. Here it is. And his eyes were green. Nobody was using that chord in country and bluegrass, etc. And so I tried it last night after the show. I tried it without that chord. And this time around, in the very last chorus, I left it out because I actually like it. I like it without that chord. After a while, that chord gets too, hey, look at me, in a way. So here's what it sounds like without it. Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. So that melody line, eyes were green, eyes. It's an F note over a G chord. And his eyes were green. Nothing wrong with that. Just makes a G seventh chord. We talk about songwriting. We talk about the mysteries of song construction. I played a nursing home last week, or actually, when was it? It was on the 4th of July. That's what it was. And, you know, I never do originals very often on a nursing home gig because they really want to hear the familiar songs, don't they? Just like when you play a bar or a restaurant. I don't know, some people get away with it. I know a guy who does a whole set of originals, and I say more power to you. I'll probably salt some originals in when I do my upcoming gigs down in Flemington at Stangle last Thursday. What Thursday is that? The 20th of July, I believe. And I'm also playing Tranquility Brewery. That might be the 24th. Yeah, something like that. I'll get back to you on that. I'm Mr. Promoter here. And so I took a shot last July 4th, on July 4th, at this beautiful nursing home in Central Jersey, in Fanwood, New Jersey. And it's called the Chelsea. Great people. I had a good time. And I thought I'd open with an original and see. That's another kind of shaky thing, to try to get them on your side right away. You don't want to open with an original. But I did this new song, the song that I wrote for George Eckelman, and I just erased it off of YouTube. So I'm going to get it back on YouTube by playing it for you tonight. On the uke, I told them, and at least at nursing homes, this line always gets a big guffaw. And it is, I said, this is a little guitar I had that I left in the dryer too long. Bah! They think that's the funniest thing they ever heard. And then I played this song and they went nuts over it. So, happily so, I wrote it for George Eckel and Mr. E. And it's called Mama Didn't Raise No Fool. Mama didn't raise no fool, and I'm not gonna start. Oops, knocked the microphone over. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, we got Cinema Verite here. Knocking the microphone over in the middle of a song is a new one. I'm perching it there and hoping it stays. I'll be more careful. Okay, but I'm going to do it over again. Mama didn't raise no fool, and I'm not gonna start acting stupid now, 'cause aging is an art. But if once in a while I throw caution to the wind, you can bet your bottom buck that the world will know I've sinned. I might fire up a J in the middle of a busy street. I might not watch how much I drink or what I have to eat. I know shit from Shinola. After all this time, I know what's cool. Mama didn't raise no fool, call me Mr. E. Mama didn't raise no grass don't grow on a busy street. Mama didn't raise no fool, no. A great guy, turned 92, and I hope that song is worthy of him. Well, he liked it. Okay, we did Tennessee Stud for my bro-in-law, Scott. So, well, hard song to do. Difficult. I'm, what can I tell you? You guys are encouraging. And, hey, if you tuned in last night and you contributed to the tip jar, and not many people did, but if you did, I thank you and say to you, please don't tip again tonight. This one's on the house for you. But anybody else who wants to contribute, like I say, I have never charged a ticket price here, even when Alan comes out and drives an hour. A Dylan song on a Martin, Norman Blake. The capo changes everything, friends. He's certainly done some live performances that had more out of tuneness than this one's going to have. And in the terms of the story songs in the world, this is maybe one of the top 3 of all time. And I look at it like, if some of these songs that I'm playing for you tonight are great short stories, and like I did last night, I'm going to do the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I don't know if I'll save it for last tonight, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until I do it. But I think you might agree when you hear it that it's the greatest story song of all time. This is the greatest in a sense. This is the greatest in the sense of it being, this song is a novel as opposed to when a song is a short story. This has a long view of life. It's not a close focus song, it's a long focus. And but I was in a bar in Central Jersey one night seeing a very mediocre band. It was Andy Mames, and they used to have, bluesy, kind of Grateful Dead-like bands there frequently. I was just there for the booze, I think, at that point in my life. But I remember that they didn't do much that was that impressive, but they did the whole song of Tangled Up in Blue, and the guy got every lyric right by memory. And I applauded wildly along with everyone else because it's a real accomplishment to do that. And friends, I'm not going to be able to do that tonight. I'm going to have to do it by a lyric sheet. What can I tell you? That's the way it goes. But let me know what you think and say hi in the chat room. one morning the sun was shining. I was laying in bed, wondering if she'd changed at all, if her hair was still red. Her folks, they said our lives together sure was gonna be rough. They never did like Mama's homemade dress. Papa's bank book wasn't big enough. And I was standing by the side of the road, rain falling in my shoes, heading out for the East Coast. Lord knows I paid some dues getting through, tangled up in blue. She was married when we first met, soon to be divorced. I helped her out of a jam, I guess, but I used a little too much force. We drove that car as far as we could, abandoned it out west, split up on a dark, sad night, both agreeing it was best. She turned around to look at me as I was walking away. I heard her say over her shoulder, we'll meet again someday on the avenue, tangled up in blue. I had a job in the great North Woods, working as a cook for a spell, but I never did like it all that much, and one day the axe just fell. So I drifted down to New Orleans, where I happened to be employed, working for a while on a fishing boat right outside Delacroix. And all the while I was alone, the past was close behind. I'd seen a lot of women, but she never escaped my mind, and I just grew tangled up in blue. She was working in a topless place when I stopped in for a beer. I just kept looking at the side of her face in the spotlight so clear. And later on, as the crowd thinned out, I was just about to do the same. She was standing there in back of my chair, said to me, "Don't I know your name?" I muttered something underneath my breath. She studied the lines in my face. I must admit I felt a little uneasy when she bent down to tie the laces of my shoe, tangled up in blue. She lit a burner on the stove and offered me a pipe. I thought you'd never say hello, you look like the silent type. Then she opened up a book of poems from the pages into me, written by an Italian poet from the 13th century. And every one of them words rang true and glowed like burning coals, jumping off the page like it was written in my soul from me to you, tangled up in blue. So now I'm going back again, got to get to her somehow. All the people we used to know, they're an illusion to me now. Some are mathematicians, some are carpenters' wives. I don't know how it all got started, I don't know what they do with their lives. For me, I'm still heading out on the road, heading for another joint. We always did feel the same, we just saw it from a different point of view, tangled up in blue. Thank you. is what I typically say after I play a song, even if it's dead silent in the room. Can you imagine? Think about this for a moment. That Dylan has such charisma and such a great singer. I talked about this last night. If anybody thinks he's a lousy singer, they are sadly misinformed. He's one of the world's greatest singers. And like I said, also, it's hard to do a Dylan song without lapsing into, his vocal style. But try to imagine a guy now who... There's a video of Tangled Up in Blue, and do you know what it is? The video is 4-5 minutes of just his face, close up. And he's got a white mask, white makeup on. It was in the Rolling Thunder tour. We're about a half an hour from Clinton Women's Prison, the Edna Mahan Clinton's women's prison. That's a tongue twister. Do you know that Dylan stopped there? Hey, thanks, Nancy. I'm so glad you're here. You'll be interested in this because you live locally, right? Do you know that Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell and Candice Bergen and the Hangers-On and Clowns and Jugglers from Rolling Thunder Tour played the Clinton Women's Prison as part of their tour? No idea how that stop got on the tour, but I bet people are still talking about it. The video of Tangled Up in Blue is Dylan's face close up for 4-5 minutes with nothing else there. Can I do a touch up on my tuning while I'm talking? And how do you even sell that to the MTV people? Well, what's Dylan's new video going to be? Well, nothing. It's going to be his face singing the song. And guess what? It's one of the greatest videos I've ever seen. You might agree. It's just you just get dug into the story. I got to turn that volume off for a minute. I'll be right back. Don't move, anybody. What did they used to say on TV? Don't touch that dial. Remember that years ago? Now there's no dial. It's YouTube. If they get tired of you in 10 seconds, they split. If they don't like how you look or sound. Okay, that's way out of tune. And you know what I might do at this point, friends? I might bail out of that guitar. I've really asked a lot of my Martin, playing in 90 degrees and high humidity last night, and it did really well. But I might just switch over at this point to my trusty Santa Cruz for this next song. And I did really tax it, my Martin, on that last song. I wailed away on it. Yeah, there we go. That's a guitar that holds a tuning. Santa Cruz. My friend George Eckelman, that's George Eckelman's son. He played every guitar in a guitar store recently or at some point in his life. All the Martins and the Gibsons And at the end, he said, there was one song one guitar that emerged, Chip, that was better than all of them. And he said, it's a name, it's like Santa something. And I said, oh, you mean the Santa Cruz? Yeah. Built in California by Richard Hoover. So here we go. Nancy said something. The women's person. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You always kind of looked, didn't you, Nancy, at the wall to see if anybody was coming over. And people did come over the wall on occasion. So, again, I'm refining my sound. I'm refining my video a little, but I still have a ways to go. It's a work in progress, and I'll have something better next time even. But I think I've certainly upgraded, and not only that, but out on the porch, my voice was unusually rough and affected by the allergies, etc. It's still not 100%, but this is the greatest of all time. This song I nominate for the GOAT, the best story song of all time, and the song that is completely a 100% true story, right? And Nancy and all of you YouTubers, sing along with the chorus if the mood strikes you. This is by Jerry Jeff Walker. I'm going to start it over again. That's all right. I'm not even reading the lyric. What did I need that for? Okay. I met a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you in worn-out shoes, silver hair, ragged shirt, and baggy pants, the old soft shoe. He jumped so high, then he lightly touched down. I met him in a cell in New Orleans. I was down and out. He looked to me to be the eyes of age, yeah, as he spoke right out. He talked of life, laughed, slapped his leg and said, he said the name Bojangles, then he danced a lick across the cell, grabbed his pants a better stance, oh he jumped so high, clicked his heels. He let go a laugh, shook back his clothes all around. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. He danced for those at minstrel shows and county fairs throughout the South. He spoke with tears of 15 years I was dogging him, had traveled about. His dog up and died, After 20 years he still grieves. said I dance now at every chance in honky tonks for drinks and tips. Most of the time I spend behind these county bars, 'cause I drinks a bit. He shook his head, and as he shook his head, I heard someone ask, please. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles. Do you know where that little vocal thing at the end came from? That is from Harry Nilsson's version of Mr. Bojangles, a version that was recorded very soon after the original came out. And it's really one of the best versions. I'm not going to say it's better than Jerry Jeff's, but Harry, of course, was such a great singer. It's on the album that's called Harry, with a picture of him on the cover as a kid. That's the greatest of all time, in my opinion. The GOAT of story songs. Now, last night I did the hardest, most difficult James Taylor song to perform. And, some friends of mine were nice, and some musician friends complimented me on it, and I greatly appreciate their encouragement. I wasn't that happy with it, and so I'm just going to get back on the horse, I guess, here. I don't think it's going to get any better. I'll be honest with you. It's just such a difficult song to perform, and it's really based on the difficulty of the guitar lick. And the guitar lick is so hard to achieve the way James Taylor did it. And you can't do the song without it. That's the problem. You can do Tangled Up in Blue whatever way you want. You need a fingernail for that last note. And I don't have it. That fingernail's missing, so... Last thing I remember is the freezing cold. Water in the water reaching up just to swallow me whole. Ice in the rigging and the howling wind. Shock to my body as we tumbled in, yeah. Then my brothers and the others are lost at sea. I alone am returned to tell thee, hidden in ice for a century, to walk the world again. Lord have mercy on the frozen man. Next words that were spoken to me, nurse asked me what my name might be, yeah. She was all in white at the foot of my bed. I said, angel of mercy, am I alive or am I dead? My name is William James McPhee. I was born in 1843, raised in Liverpool by the sea, but that ain't who I am. Lord, have mercy on the frozen man. Took a lot of money to start my heart, to peg my leg and to buy my eye. The newspapers call me state of the art, and the children, when they see me, cry. I thought it would be nice just to visit my grave, see what kind of tombstone I might have. I saw my wife and my daughter, and it seemed so strange. Both of them dead and gone from extreme old age. See here when I die, make sure I'm gone. Don't leave them nothing to work on no more. You can raise your arm, you can wiggle your hand, yeah. And you can wave goodbye to the frozen man. I know what it means to freeze to death, to lose a little life with every breath, to say goodbye to life on earth, come around again. Lord, have mercy on the frozen man, yeah. Lord, have mercy on the frozen man, I guess that's becoming my trademark, this thing at the end. Woo! And that was all right. I screwed up the lyric. It's a hard, long, detailed lyric, and if you fumble, it will eat you alive. You're just lost at sea, pardon the expression. You need a little bit more of a processed guitar sound for that. James Taylor has his guitar running through preamps and chorus effects and digital delays, and I'm not making excuses. He's got the greatest guitar sound of all time, but it's like it's touch sensitive, his guitar, where if you just play a chord. I even saw him talking about it one time on TV, and he said if you strum his guitar with a pick, he said the whole thing buzzes. It's set up so low. And I'm friends with his guitar tech, his guitar maker, James Olson. Great guy. Gave me an endorsement for my book, My Home Isn't in This World. No, I mean, there must be a better world somewhere. Posed with my book on the golf course with my dear friend Brad Doors. And that's how I met James Olson I haven't met him in person, but do you know how he got James Taylor to use his Olson guitar? And let me just clue you, the Olson guitar is the James Taylor model was originally 10, 15 years ago. It was $15,000. And I know people who were scoffing at that. They were like, oh, that's ridiculous. It will never hold its value. Guess what? They're $25,000 now. $25,000. It's like buying It's like if you're in an orchestra, a symphony, and somebody tells you, well, we got a Stradivarius for you here, and walk around and play it, and it's insured for $4 million. Okay, now I've got a new song. I played it last time, and I might just wrap things up tonight with this song. It's a little shorter than my normal show. That's all right. And this is a do-over, as I said, and it's gone all right. I got the songs in that I wanted to get in. I worked on the sound. I worked on the video a little. You might see this in the rerun. Nancy's with me, holding my hand, so to speak, and couldn't be happier to have her. We were talking on the radio about emotion in songs. And Sheila Weller, the great author of a great book called Girls Like Us, which is a comparative 3-part study on Joni Mitchell, Carole King, and Carly Simon. And she and I have corresponded, and my good friend Steve Philp got me a signed copy of Sheila Weller's book very early on when it was first released. And Sheila and I corresponded and had some back and forth. And Sheila not only speaks about the great Rick Philp in her book, but she also is the only author that I know of that has acknowledged the greatness of a woman that I knew named Laura Allen. And Sheila talks about Laura Allen being the one who really turned Joni Mitchell onto the dulcimer. So Joni Mitchell's album Blue, of course, is a dulcimer album. Not a dulcimer album. It's a dulcimer generated, A Case of You. Maybe her greatest song was written on the dulcimer and performed on it on that record. And Sheila Weller, pardon me, I have to clear my throat frequently these days. Sheila Weller wrote about Laura in her great book, Girls Like Us. I still highly recommend that book to people. If anybody knows what's going on with Sheila Weller and what her latest works are, please put it in the comments section of YouTube when this gets out on YouTube in the next day or two. I've got an itchy back right now. Do I want to bother to go get a back scratcher? I'll be all right. It'll go away. I've really been waiting for this song for decades. My new song is called Robin, Please Call Me Back. And it's an attempt to really capture the strong emotion that happens from a summer love and also happens when you're a teenager. There's something very dramatic about that, isn't there? And heartfelt and sometimes extremely difficult to go through. And I've gone through it. Some of you have. I'm just going to touch up this guitar a little bit. And I want to get it right for you because this is, for me, one of the most meaningful songs that I've ever written. Robin, please call me back. I don't know what I'll do if you don't pick up the phone. I won't make it through one more night. I can't stand one more night alone. Do you remember the time I cried in your arms and you told me it would be alright? Robin, did you lie? We met down the shore and we fell in love one night out on the beach. Now summer is gone, we're miles apart and you're so out of reach. Do you remember the night, the first time we kissed on the shore? As the moon began to rise, we both swore that we'd stay in touch forever after you were gone. I watched you put my number in your phone. September's here and I can't understand what went wrong. Please tell me what went wrong. I can't get through. I keep hearing your voice saying hi, leave a message, I'm not home. But I can't let you go. When I close my eyes, you're still here. But Robin, I feel so alone, so alone. Robin, please call me back. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hitting the virtual tip jar that I'll put even in the YouTube link. It helps keep the show going. I never charge a ticket price, so your contributions are a great encouragement to keep this webcast on the air. Thanks again, and I look forward to, I'll see you in a week or so maybe. All right? Have a great rest of your weekend.